Well, hi everybody. It's Father John here with a gospel reflection as we enter in to Luke chapter 18, and we get this scene right away from Christ of the dishonest judge and the widow, right? And so there's a judge who doesn't care about God or his fellow man, and there's a widow who just bugs him and bugs him, and finally he gives in basically out of annoyance. He's annoyed, and so he says, "Fine, you get what you want." And really, we have Christ is teaching about persistence in prayer here, but it also teaches us about how we should interact with other people. So we get kind of a twofold message at once. And this made me think of a letter by St. Augustine when he was a bishop, and he was in kind of a poor town. Hippo was not that, not that prosperous. And he writes this letter just kind of complaining to a friend about how difficult it is to be a just judge. And it's letter 218 to his friend Publicoa. And he says, "What a burden it is to judge causes between men. How difficult to avoid sin when the rich and the poor plead before you. You fear to offend the rich, lest he harm you. You fear to wrong the poor, lest you crush him. Yet judge you must, for you are their bishop." And so he found himself always people would come to him to settle disputes, and he found it extraordinarily difficult. And this was a holy man, one who knew scriptures, and yet he couldn't always get it quite right. And so it's just a call for us, I think, when we have to judge situations, never to be too rash, but always to be extraordinarily kind of aware of everybody's needs, and never to move too quickly in any one direction, but to listen well to others when they ask for us to understand their case, whatever situation it might be. But at the end of the day, and this is really the key for Christ, when we go to God with our prayers, he doesn't have to deliberate like St. Augustine did. He doesn't have to think like a good man and figure out who's in the right and who's in the wrong. God knows everything. God knows what you need. God knows what I need. He knows who is in the right and who is in the wrong. And so when we go to make our requests to God, we can do it very simply, but consistently. And we can trust that God will give us what we need. And we always have to also be ready. We have to have that same kind of attentiveness. We have to be ready for God to change our hearts, to open us, really to just, to having our wills be changed so that we can receive what he really wants to give us, which might be greater than what we might ever imagine. So we'll see you at Mass. God bless you.